Greetings, fellow humans. Bad Mark here with another transmission from Metre Keyboards. And today we're taking a look at a new keyboard from XVX. And I've got to say, XVX has been putting out some very interesting keyboards, but this one takes the cake. And as far as QMK Via, I actually know of a couple of other companies that if I gave you a list of companies, you'd probably pick them last to be the ones to put out an actual QMK Via keyboard. But they will be putting one out early next year. That's a surprise for right now. Anyway, XVX has been delivering some keyboards that I quite enjoy using, from the M80 to the SK80 to the VK66. Can't remember all the models. The models are all getting jumbled in my head, so if I say the wrong model, please excuse me. But this one is the M67 Jadestone. Now, I did open it up and did a quick little just show of it when they had a sale. I think the sale was $39.99. It still lists at a pretty affordable price, but we are starting to see just a plethora of QMK Via keyboards come out from brands that we know. XVX also has some really nice keycaps. I've actually already filmed some reviews of their keycaps. I just haven't had a chance to edit and publish yet, so they will be coming. But anyway, these actually have IMD Tech keycaps, which are pretty cool. We've seen a version of them on another brand, but we'll see what it's like on this one. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up the box and see what we've got. So as always, before taking a look at the keyboard, I do like to open up and see what we've got inside of the box. Here we have a standard wire switch and keycap puller, a rubberized USB-A to USB-C connector cable, a user manual to show us the pre-programmed shortcuts, a brush to keep your keyboard clean, and 3 extra switches. I always appreciate when manufacturers include extra switches because you never know what could go wrong. And some of us with OCD just like all of the switches underneath those keys to be the same. Now we have here is an XVX switch. Ooh, that's probably the deepest, even deeper than the North Pole, the deepest clear switch I've ever heard. Because I mean, that's more than likely made out of polycarbonate, but I'm honestly surprised at how deep that sounds. But we have some extra switches included. Thank you, XVX, for thinking of the end user. And here we are with the XVX M67 Jadestone QMK Via 65%. As you can see, we have a pretty standard layout. We have the blocker, we have the compressed 65%. We have a 4-key navigation column, and it's set up in a very intrinsic way, or one that I can work with very easily because delete key is at the top, page up, and always, I'm going to guess function page up is going to be home, but it's QMK Via, so it really doesn't matter. We can do what we want. It looks like we might have a south-facing keyboard. I don't know, but I do know that we have this. Oh, the spacebar actually has a texture to it that is actually quite nice. Let's go ahead and plug it in and see where the real magic begins, especially if you like RGB. I know you do. I do. And that is that is an RGB cloud, and I do have a place in my heart for RGB clouds. Don't get me wrong, I have plenty of keyboards that don't even have RGB or LEDs on them, and I still like them just the same. But I don't know, I've always kind of enjoyed backlight on keyboards on my laptops for years, and then backlit keyboards when they started becoming popular. So, but having RGB, having colors that, you know, if you feel like it, you know, because that's a lot of what this is. I mean, most of what this is very preferential. What do you like? What do I like? So having a keyboard that you can, you know, customize, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just setting the colors, you know, to match the keycap sets that you've chosen. You know, I mean, even just taking the switches and different keycaps, that makes that your own. And it makes it unique. There's so many millions of combinations, and everybody's keyboard is unique. And as long as you're happy with it, and especially if it makes you more productive, then, I mean, enjoy. Because, I mean, it is a tool that many of us have to use. For how much longer? I don't know. I don't think the keyboard will ever truly go away. Just like I don't think writing will ever truly go away. So I really don't think keyboards are ever going to go away. They're always going to be a tool that we need. I know for right now, keyboards are still needed, so we may as well enjoy them. Now this one, I actually noticed that we have texture not only on the space bar, we have it on the arrow keys as well as the alternate arrow keys, or the WASD keys. So the rest of the keys are nice and flat, but it's nice that we have that texture so that we can find ourselves there. Home keys actually have the home bar, so that's nice. But I really love that effect. I know these aren't the first. Oh, also on the escape key. How did I miss that? I know this is not the first keyboard to have this pattern. It's the first keyboard from a company that I would recommend that has this pattern. I really enjoy XVX keycaps, and like I said, I've been enjoying their keyboards tremendously. They're well built, and they're affordable, and their support is bar none. I mean, when I reached out to them first because of a support issue, and then we kind of developed our, professional working relationship where, every once in a while they send me a keyboard, I review it. I'm always honest about their keyboards, and they appreciate that honesty. They're another one of the companies that actually, I believe, cares about what the customer wants, because they listen to my feedback. And I think for the most part, I feedback a lot of what I get, from people asking me about their keyboards. Anyway, we have a really nice looking 65%. The case is semi-translucent, so you can kind of see. Oh, here, let me turn these lights down so we can get the full effect. Because I'm not sure if this is, no, I don't think this is it polycarbonate? I'll have to look up. I don't recall at the moment what material this case is, but all right, yeah, that's a little bit better. This is definitely an RGB clamp. As soon as come on, can you adjust? So maybe if this Logitech camera wants to actually work like a professional camera that it's supposed to be, I would actually be able to show how the color goes through. The bottom part of the case, not so much, but the top part of the case, you could definitely see it diffuse through there. So it's really nice. Now, since I do have it plugged in, let's go ahead and just get a quick preview of what it sounds like. That sounds nice. That sounds real nice, I gotta say. I am digging how well that sounds. All right, now let's take a look at what we've got underneath. We've got these really nice, and like I said, the deepest sounding fully clear switch I've come across, because I have a couple of these, and one that is in particular quite high pitched, but this one sounds and feels nice. It has a nice weight to it too. I would guess 47, maybe 50 grams. It's not the lightest, and I prefer something 55 to 65 is a nice window for me. I know a lot of switches come a lot lighter than that, but with these progressive springs and these different springs that they're using, they actually feel a little bit heavier, so I can still use them, which is nice. Now, taking a look at the stabilizers, they are plate mounted, and they do appear to have very nice tolerances, as I can't get them to move. So they are on there well. Let's go ahead and pop them off and see what we've got. All right, we don't have any feet on here. We have lubrication inside of the stem and the wire, as well as on the elbow. And I'd say it's almost on the verge of being too much, but I don't think it's going to cause any issues. We actually have LED lights underneath the stems, so that light can go up through there. That's why they're using, this is more of that milky plastic, so the light can actually, let's see how much diffuses through the stem. Lock that in place real quick. Plug it in again. Yeah, you can see the RGB come up through the stem. That's what I'm talking about. They've got their RGB game down, that's for sure. These are some of the best plate-mounted stabilizers as far as tolerances go, because they literally, they don't move. It's like, if I was blindly touching and I couldn't touch the base of them, I'd say they're screw-in stabilizers, because that's how well they're attached. So we do have a south-facing 3 and 5 pin compatible hot swap PCB, and we do have the hi-fi layers, which is the PET layer right above the PCB, with the IXPE foam layer above that. And it does feel like, oh, does it? I'm not sure if there's anything underneath there. I think there is, but I can't tell if it is. It's an open cell foam. Oh yeah, it's like an open cell foam. Okay, I see it. So it's just a light open cell foam that's down below the plate and the PCB. It does look like we have a PC plate, and it is gasket mounted. And it's nice. It's not too flexy, but it's nice and flexy enough. And I don't think it's, yep, it's a non-flex, or is it a flex cut? Oh, no. Yeah, it does have flex cuts. It has flex cuts going along the rows. Huh. I didn't even think it was, but it is. All right, measuring the keycaps, they come in at 1.5 millimeters of thickness. I'm not sure what they're made out of. So again, taking a look underneath, we do have one set of fold-out feet. So we're going to have 2 different typing angles. And we have almost like a skirt design, because look at all of this space that we have here. Huh. That's actually quite interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a design like this, and now I really want to get in there, but nope. Got to keep it stock. Got to keep it stock for right now. We'll come back to it. If I would time travel right now and go to myself in 2020, 2021, be like, look, 65% plastic keyboard, affordable, in stock, QMK Via. I'd have been like, you're a liar, get out of here. The evolution or revolution that's happened in this hobby over the last few years has just been phenomenal, where we've really made keyboards that are of much better quality available to the masses, you know, in affordable prices. So I really like it. I like this keyboard. This is a very nice keyboard. It is a little bit lighter than I usually would like, but taking into consideration that it's probably polycarbonate, you know, and it's wanted it, you know, because of the RGB cloud ability of it. Though I've got some ideas for what I'd like to do to mod it. A couple of different ideas, but even just the design of how that case is like a skirt that's not touching. Like now I'm like, all right, I really got to get in there and see how this thing is built. But I don't want to do anything right now, because in case something happens and I can't do a stock sound test, well, honestly, I mean, for anyone that's a gamer, this is probably a easy buy, a good affordable gift that's actually going to make any PC gamer or even console gamers, because I know that they use keyboards on consoles now. I think this is going to would make any gamer happy, because it sounds good. It has that texture on the escape, on the arrows, on the WASD, on the space bar, which are going to be some of the keys you hit the most. It's got that geographic pattern, I forget what it's called, but terrain cut out for the RGBs. It is an RGB cloud, and not only that, it sounds and feels good, and it's gasket mount. It's not a tray mount. I don't know why for the longest time it's like, well, it's a gamer keyboard, so it's okay to put a steel plate tray mount. It's like, why can't it be soft and comfortable? And now we're getting gaming keyboards that are soft, comfortable, good looking, and sound good. Just the specs. Today we are taking a look at the XVX M67 Jadestone, a wired 65% QMK via RGB cloud keyboard. It has a 3 and 5 pin south-facing hot swap PCB with hi-fi layers, a gasket-mounted PC plate preloaded with XVX ICE linear switches, and OEM IMD topographic shine-through keycaps. This keyboard comes weighing in at 602 grams. The chin of this keyboard sits at 23.5 millimeters from the typing surface, while the back sits at 36.5 millimeters, providing for a default typing angle of 9 degrees. Flipping down the only pair of included feet will raise the back height to 47.5 millimeters and change your angle of typing to 15 degrees. This keyboard MSRPs for $69.90 before discounts. Links below. So to load up this keyboard, the M67 in VIA, you can download the file from the XVX website, and you'll see that the keyboard has 4 layers. Now, the keyboard itself does have a physical switch for Windows and Mac. It's basically going to make the base layer 2 when you switch it over to Mac, and 3 would be your function layer. So you basically have 2 Windows layers and 2 Mac layers. Now, I was honestly surprised. I set it to a solid color of white, and it's actually quite white, and RGB usually has a hint of either blue or yellow, even sometimes pink to it. It almost looks like it has a white LED in it. I was quite surprised. It is listed as QMK VIA. I'm still waiting to hear back from them about QMK source. It does seem to have QMK because it did accept a couple of different special functions. That's usually a good test, shows that it's QMK and not just a fake VIA interface. So yeah, it's for an RGB keyboard. It actually has a pretty good white. I was actually quite impressed with how well it does, just a clear white. That's one of the complaints I've heard. It didn't like me doing that. It's probably one of the biggest complaints I've heard about keyboards is, hey, do you know how to get it to a pure white instead of like a white blue or white yellow? Those are usually the colors where it will lean to, so to see it that white is pretty cool. Now, this keyboard is available in black as well. I'm guessing that it probably shows a little bit more on the white version than it does the black version, because it's it's a pretty thick frost on there. And again, the way that this keyboard is made, it's quite interesting. It really is. But I don't know what material they're made out of. It's IMD, technology. That's why it has that. I don't know if that includes the texture that it has on certain keys, or the topographic pattern that it has with the shine through. But it is pretty cool, I gotta say, and I think it sounds pretty good for what it is. So like I said, XVX continues to release good keyboards. When the QMK source becomes available, I will update it in the description down below. I do hope that you enjoyed this review. If you have any questions, comments, anything you'd like to see me do when I do come back to this keyboard, please let me know down in the comments below. I do my best to respond to comments as soon as possible. So I'm going to be leaving you guys with a stock sound test of this XVX M67 Jadestone. I want to wish everybody out there in YouTube land a beautiful rest of your day. And until the next transmission, keep calm, keyboard on.